Xerxes demanded our obedience, our submission. But we were free men, and we would rather die on our feet than live on our knees. Confident, savoring the meal to come, the beast approached, and it was King Leonidas himself who provoked it. Uninvited guests. Persian lapdogs bringing word to Sparta from the great and powerful Xerxes. All the God King required was a modest offering of earth and water, symbolizing Sparta's submission to the will of Xerxes. They warned us to be afraid, that Sparta would burn to the ground, and that only the word of Leonidas could save it. Leonidas did not leave our guests waiting long for a response. Earth and water. The Persians would find plenty down there. So it began. The Ephialtes, priests to the old gods, diseased old mystics, worthless remnants of a time before Sparta's ascent from darkness and superstition. Their word is law. It was the time of Carneia, the sacred and ancient festival. Sparta could wage no war. They must consult the oracle. The oracle spoke in an ancient tongue known only to the Ephialtes. Leonidas was to honor the Carneia. There would be no march. Sparta would fall. Pompous inbred swine, worthless, diseased, rotten, corrupt. Xerxes promised fresh oracles to them daily, from every corner of his empire. The price was only a simple lie, a small bending of the oracle's ancient words. But our king was resolved. There would be no march. No army would take the field against Xerxes. Only Leonidas would walk north to the hot gates, along with his personal bodyguard of 300. Xerxes has come to the hot gates. Xerxes, the god king of Persia, the devourer of nations. We few stand against him. Against a horde of beasts and men so massive it shakes the earth with its march. Our king Leonidas wavers not.
Spartans, attack!
Come, Persian horse! Let your master see how deeply the blades swung by freeborn men cleave!
What's your flank? Keep it up, Spartans! Persian slaves, you die with valor! May you know freedom in the afterlife! Phalanx, now!
Xerxes will cower behind 1,000 such beasts before coming within a spear's cast.
Then we shall kill 1,000.
I suspect we won't have to. Xerxes will not wish to send more of them against us anytime soon. Slaves, on the other hand.
Sire, they've taken the Phocian wall! Our flank is wide open!
Quickly, Spartans! We must retake the wall, or all is lost!
first day of our march. We heard the crows before we saw the smoke. And as we drew closer to the village, we smelled something else. The reek of death clogged our every breath. And yet even greater was the weight of watchful eyes upon us. She did not scream at the sight of my spear. She said nothing when I offered her water, nothing when I asked her name. But then her eyes found Leonidas. The sight of our king loosened her throat. She told us of the nightmare that had befallen her village. A man called Hydarnes rode upon a towering stallion, awash in sweat and foam. He was more monster than man, with blades instead of hands, and a cruel, mocking smile of sharpened razors. Beasts from the blackness were with him. Monsters, grey-skinned, cold eyes, with claws and fangs. The immortals. These agents of death would burn her world and murder everyone she loved. He set about his gruesome work, slaughtering her brother, mother, and father first, and setting the village afire. By the light of dawn, it was plain that none had been spared, save she. By now the girl can barely continue her tale. The king bids her rest. But even as he speaks, we can tell that she has died in his arms. Her words shook with horrors that no innocent should ever know. Perhaps that's why they kept her alive, as a warning. Or perhaps to distract us from their ambush. They rise among the mangled bodies of the slain, a trap, a message to all Greeks. The Persians mean to kill us all, and their message shall never leave this village. Our king's rage is ablaze. The very fires of hell burn within him. They shall pay.
So, these lapdogs of Xerxes think to take us unawares, my brothers. Let's show them what their follies unleashed. The blood of our countrymen stains the earth. Come, avenge it drop for drop.
Your assistance was timely, my lord.
If such as these constitute the bulk of Xerxes' forces, we shall cleave through them all in no time.
Does hardly seem a fair fight, my lord. Perhaps too.
I'll give the matter some thought. Our work here is not done. We will leave no Persian alive. Tilios, check every building. If it doesn't speak Greek, kill it. Daxos, you're with me.
I want that gate open and I want it now! Put your Gallic backs into it! Harder! What are you, Athenians?
Vile Persian filth. Killing them once was not nearly enough, my lord. There was not enough Persian blood to sate our fears.
There isn't enough Persian blood. We shall make do. Ephialtes!
Come, we march.
We slew more Persians than the number of villages we avenged. And yet the girl's death weighs heavily on us, and upon Leonidas most of all. The tree was a message. The Persian god king knows we're coming, and he is unafraid. As yet, we're only an angry bee buzzing in his ear. As dusk fell, our king plans a bold retaliation. Xerxes shall fear us here. Leonidas leads us several leagues beyond our route to the hotcakes. He leads us to the coast, where our enemy's navy lies. We travel down the cliffside to a temple at the site. But Leonidas does not seek the blessing of the seagull. He brings us to strike a blow, to make the Persian feel the Spartan sting. He plans to attack the enemy's navy, though not by sea. It's gives me a chance that leads us to come upon the Persians desecrating the temple. And we look upon it as a gift.
Our path to Poseidon's temple lies on the other side of this camp. I will go.
Sire, take my son, Astinos, with you. He's a fine scout.
Astinos, you're with me. Stay alert, Captain.
If there are any Persian scouts at your back, my lord, I swear to you, they will not draw more than 100 breaths.
Persian scouts, my lord.
Aye, we must be wary. If they see us, they will alert the entire camp.
Killing them would be a simple matter, my lord.
Patience, Astinos. The gods will have their due.
A Persian war galley approaches, my lord, and they don't seem to have spied us yet.
I call that an open invitation to board.
We've come to the hot gates. Xerxes' slave army hungers for the order to murder us. Millions against our 300. This is where we'll fight. This is where they'll die. We'll give them nothing, but we'll take from them everything. An army stands before us, vast beyond imagining, so great it drinks rivers dry. But Leonidas has chosen this place for a reason. No more than 12 men abreast can stand and pass at a time. Unable to flank us, the Persians will be forced to confront us face to face, man to man. The advantage of their millions has just withered. Persian emissaries approach our camp. They demand to see the king, but Leonidas instructs them to address us all. In the name of Xerxes, the Persians demand that we lay down our weapons. Our king only laughs. All his 40 years have been a straight road to this one gleaming moment in destiny. This one radiant clash of shield and spear and sword and bone and flesh and blood. We will do what we were trained to do, what we were bred to do, what we were born to do. We will lay down nothing. If Xerxes wants our weapons, he can come and get them.
Signal the attack! Send in the first wave!
The Persian camp looks as if they're readying for another assault.
So it seems.
An interesting choice of location for their watchtower, wouldn't you say, my lord?
Indeed, Stelios. Or for those loose rocks above it, depending on one's point of view.
My lord, the captain awaits your orders. If we can just find a way to open that gate and let them in first.
Kicking over those braziers to set their tents on fire may prove a useful diversion if need be.
There's also always the killing them diversion.
Aye, a useful ruse as well. These Persians may not be the finest warriors in the world, but I cannot help but admire the speed with which they die. Captain, how many did we lose?
We've lost no one, my lord.
Spartans, we have stung a god today. Savor his agony, his rage, his impotence. All I ask is that you celebrate quickly. I suspect we're in for an eventful night.
The moon was full that night, when a creature, more beast than man, came into our camp and begged to see the king. His name was Ephialtes. Born of Sparta, his mother's love had led his parents to flee, lest he be discarded. His father had been a shepherd, but he claimed that he'd been taught the warrior's way. He wished to reclaim his family's honor by serving us in battle. Our king explained that each Spartan must protect the man to his left, from thigh to neck with his shield. A single weak spot, and the phalanx shatters. Ephialtes' twisted body was unable to lift the shield high enough. Nevertheless, Leonidas offered him a place in our army. clearing the dead and tending to the wounded. Not all of us are made to be soldiers. Any hope Ephialtes had for honor was shattered. We had little time, however, to contemplate the incident. Though the day was long, Xerxes was about to mount his fiercest attack yet. Wordless, their form faultless. They move in such perfect unison that each collective step strikes the earth like a blow from the fire god's hammer. They march. Men made into monsters, twisted, bred to fight, bred to kill. Now, while we're fresh and at our full strength, before wounds and weariness have taken their toll, the Mad King throws the best he has in us. Xerxes has taken big. Immortals. We put their name to the test.
This is totally unacceptable. You are immortals. These are but pig farmers. Destroy them, or I will have your heads. Get down there, now!
The immortals are retreating! My lord, we've won!
No, Captain. They will recover and return to strike us again and again. I prefer to finish them now. Come, Spartans! Today, we have made those who lay claim to immortality run. Now we shall make them bleed! Forward, my brothers! An ideal resting place for an immortal indeed. Demeter, please forgive the foul stink and appearance of this offering. With luck, I will soon bring you an emperor as compensation. We have prevailed once again this night, Spartans. Come, rest your weary bones for the few moments remaining before dawn. Today, my brothers, we will be pressed.
No one makes the legendary immortals look like fools. This I swear to you, Spartan ruler of big shit, by the heavens above and the bones of my fallen brethren, and in the name of Almighty Xerxes, before tomorrow ends, you will die.
With the defeat of the immortals, the man who fancied himself a god felt a very human chill crawl up his spine. Though Haidani survived, his monstrous soldiers had been bested. The god king would try again. He summoned Mardonius. He had traveled long and far to the most remote corners of the Persian Empire, to the most savage and sadistic tribes, ancient races of men mired in evil and darkness. We learned their traditions. We collected their warriors. We assembled his army of nightmares. Mardonius, the fist Xerxes. Whips crack, barbarians howl, Mardonius roars. Our eyes bear witness to this grotesque spectacle, coughed forth from the darkest reaches of Xerxes' empire. At our wall of bronze and crimson, no retreat, no surrender, only honor, duty, glory, combat, victory. They fall by the hundreds. We send broken bodies and severed hearts back to Xerxes' feet, but still they come, a river of warrior slaves without end. But we are relentless, unstoppable. We are free men. We are Spartans. We will fight until the sun itself falls from the sky. We will fight until everyone is dead, until the last descendant of Xerxes rots in the grave. We will kill them all. Leonidas had just assembled his war council that night when the scout was brought before us. We had been betrayed. That misshapen hunchback, whom our king had turned away, had informed Xerxes of the hidden goat path behind us. By morning, we would be surrounded. Retreat, surrender, or death. That's an easy choice for us. Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender. We would prepare for glory. Our king's only regret is that he had so few to sacrifice. But Leonidas will not sit idle until the morning. To strike the gravest blow to Xerxes, we had to sneak into the Persian camp and slay his two greatest generals, Hydarnes of the Immortals and Mardonius. Hydarnes is called by some the brain of Xerxes for his tactical genius and skill with arms. And Mardonius, his fist, brutal and savage. Without his fist or his brain, Xerxes would be left with a mere shadow of an army. Though it means almost certain death, there is no shortage of volunteers to deliver the killing strokes to the god king's most trusted servants. It would infuriate Xerxes beyond measure.
The Emperor's harem, Dilios. By far a more horrific sight than anything I have seen on the battlefield today. What do you suppose would best enliven their celebration of our imminent deaths?
My king, these creatures are unworthy of our spears.
Including those drunken guardsmen? Will they stand back idly and let us pass?
I suppose not, my lord.
Your head in a tight situation.
Yes, my lord. I've grown quite attached to it.
General Hydarnes, your time has come.
Leonidas? Here in the flesh? I never dared hope this opportunity would present itself.
You mean being beheaded by a Spartan king? I'll do my best to make it live up to your expectations, then.
It sounds as if we've alerted the entire camp, my lord.
I fear you're right. It is well, Dilios. We have wrought as much havoc here as two men ever could. We must leave now. It is unfortunate that we are unable to teach Mardonius the same lesson.
It seemed Hydarnes' immortality was somewhat exaggerated.
Like the godhood of another, I am growing quickly certain. Come, my friend. Our last dawn approaches. Savor it.
Leonidas stands before us and our allies. He says that by staying, by fighting, we shall light a fire that will burn in the hearts of all free men for all the centuries yet to be. Our allies can retreat. They can return to their homes and live. We Spartans have no choice. No retreat, no surrender. This is Spartan law. We will stand and fight and die. We will have glory this day. The forces of Xerxes are coming. Soon we will be beset from all sides. And as Leonidas promised, tomorrow night we will dine in hell. I desire nothing else. My king draws me aside and tells me I'm to return to Sparta. Reluctantly, I leave my brothers. I am to deliver my king's final orders to the council with force and burden. I will tell them our grand tale and make every Greek know what happened at the hotbeats. Hundreds leave. Only one looks back. Only I. With this sacrifice, a new age begins. An age of great deeds. An age of reason. An age of justice. An age of freedom. And all will know 300 Spartans gave their last breath to defend it.
We have toppled much sturdier walls than these Spartans.
Spartans, we must hold this wall at all costs. You've given me your best, my brothers. Now give me more. Captain, about that backup plan we discussed.
On it, my lord.
My compliments, Leonidas, and congratulations. You play a clever game, and you play it well. Despite your insufferable arrogance, the God King has come to admire Spartan valor and fighting skill. You will make a mighty ally.
Yield, Leonidas. Use your reason. Think of your men.
Listen to your fellow Greek. He can attest to the Divine One's generosity. You fight for your lands? Keep them! You fight for Sparta! She will be wealthier and more powerful than ever before. You fight for your kingship? You will be proclaimed warlord of all Greece, answerable only to one true master of the world. Leonidas, your victory will be complete if you but lay down your arms and kneel to holy Xerxes. Your spear, Leonidas.
Stelios.
Slaughter them! Slaughter them!
Old Leonidas gave testament to his bloodline. His roar was long and loud. A tale of victory. That's what Leonidas wanted me to tell. Long I pondered my king's cryptic message. Time has proven him wise. Every Greek knows what happened that day, the tale of our king's noble sacrifice. Leonidas and his 300 laid down their lives, not just for Sparta, but for all Greece and the promise this country holds. A year later, and now we stand before the barbarians again, on this rugged patch of Greece called Plataea. Mardonius leads our foes. Sheer terror grips tight his hard, icy fingers, knowing full well what merciless horrors his forces suffered from the spears and swords of only 300 Spartans. Now he faces 10,000 Spartans, commanding 30,000 free Greeks. The enemy outnumbers us a paltry 3 to 1. Good odds for any Greek. This day, we rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny. We usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine. Give thanks, men, to Leonidas and the brave 300! To victory!
Spartans, the time has come for vengeance. Charge! Close the gate. Let none escape. I will ride you down like the dogs you are. Helios is it. Long have I heard tell of the one-eyed storytelling craven who left his fellows to die at Thermopylae. Come for revenge, have we?
Let our spears decide who between us is the craven lapdog.
Your Spartan insolence is all you have. Persia is wealthy beyond imagining. I demean myself by even speaking to you.
This is why you lose here today, Persian. We fight so hard because we have so little.
You have nothing. Your land is stony. Your cities burned to the ground. Your wives and daughters.
Fight me, my Mardonius. Steel against steel.
However, it will only make killing you that much more enjoyable.
There is nowhere left to run, Mardonius. It's time to end this.
Victory is ours! Sparta is free!
With our victory at Plataea and the death of their most respected general, the Persians left Greece in defeat, never to return. But a danger lurks. Though we have driven out the Persians, their greed and corruption remain, sapping away the very spirit of our people. Still, a hope remains. The son of Leonidas, now our king Pleistakos, will root out this festering sickness before its infection spreads. This is what his father would have done. This is justice. This is honor. This is glory. This is Sparta.